Yeah, driving in Nigeria is chaotic. I remember when I went for holiday in December, last December, and I was telling my parents, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna drive. Like they should, get my car ready and everything." And they're like, "Are you sure you want to drive? We can like arrange to be a driver."
Did you drive?
I got there, Ediri, and I was on third mainland with my dad, and I'm seeing downfall drivers reversing on the bridge, on the highway, on the high bridge, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Again, you're a new immigrant, so you're scared. Sometimes you lose money.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, before you let go of that you had any money, did you ask somebody?
Questions. I know people that have almost been scammed.
I know somebody that has been scammed.
That has been, oh my God.
She was trying to get an apartment, right? She had, the person had given her a tour of the place or whatever. And she paid first and last month rent to this guy. Day to move in, this guy was nowhere to be found.
This is Young and Abroad. Oh shit, let's go.
Tough time never lasts.
Tough people do, so you got this. Okay.
Yes. So I'm really enjoying this conversation, by the way. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's just switch over to the responses we got from people. So we asked some of you to just share your struggles with, starting a new life abroad, and we got quite a number of responses. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the first person says, I think what's underestimated with moving abroad is the complexities of race and racism, and how it affects the average Black person when they move. It's often subtle, so it's usually a culmination of events that make you realize, and by the time you do, it hits heavy.
I whoever wrote that, I hear you. I hear you, because we're coming from a place where everybody is Nigerian, or everybody is like you.
Everybody's Black.
Another thing is, I was about to say this Black thing. Like, you don't identify as Black. You don't think that you're Black. You're just Nigerian, True. And then to come to another place on a foreign land, and you just start adopting a new identity. Like, I'm Black. And then just seeing all the systemic, societal, like the ways it shows up in the society. Nothing of your own fault. But just labels that are put on you, the way people look at you. One very big, glaring one that not only happens to Black people, it's just the job market. Because you move into a new place, move into a new country, whatever it is. Yeah. One of your things, you're trying to just get a job. But for so many people, like obstacles, one of the big obstacles is really just their name. They put it to the ATS system or whatever, and it's like, oh, Lua, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't understand. But yeah, it's there, and so you're not crazy. But
yes,
something that myself and my brother used to talk about is, even though these things exist and they are real, to not let it become like a stumbling block for your own self. Like
100%
crazy faith, and just being determined about the kind of experience you want to create for yourself or that you want to have, and just to the best of your own ability, just intentionally creating that. Just not letting yourself be limited. Otherwise, I don't know, if you just be like, oh, nobody wants to hire me because I have an accent, nobody wants to hire me because I'm Black. It's hard to get past that in your own mind and then have like a better experience in reality.
100%.
But no, it exists, and it's a real thing.
I agree. And that's actually something that my brother also says, like, kind of don't try to give people the benefit of the doubt, like, or give them grace. So, like, could there have been another meaning to this thing that they're saying? I mean, sometimes people might not realize that what they're saying is offensive. Sometimes, because of maybe past racist encounters that we've had, we now become a bit hypersensitive to some interactions, and we need to kind of check it. Maybe like there was another meaning to what this person said, and not, just zero every interaction that is not necessarily the best as racism. It's difficult because also I don't want you to feel like I'm invalidating people's experiences. I have also had experiences that have not been the best, and where it's just like clear. Yeah.
You know what? Yes, as much as we want to give people benefit of the doubt, I think a part of giving grace is educating them. And I think it's okay for you to speak up. Just so that people just know that, you know what, you can try to be nasty, but not to me.
Like, I actually love that.
No, it's true. Like, you need to speak up. Otherwise, people just think they can like step on you or whatever. You can just be like, this may not be what you mean, but
I find it offensive. Like, what would you say?
Depending on, I'll just be like, this is what you said, and this is how I felt about it, and I didn't like it.
That's really good.
Next time, don't. Thank you very much.
And I feel like there's even like subtle ways that you can stand your ground, especially in somewhere like the workplace where you meet different types of people, even in scenarios where like people are kind of like talking over you and not allowing you finish your thoughts. You can just be like, I'm not done finishing my thoughts, or can I please finish my thoughts? Or I'm actually not done speaking. So you can actually interject their interjection.
Me, honestly.
And make sure that...
I feel like that just creates even more tense. That's if people don't see. And I just be like, so, well, as I was saying, because I'm going to finish what I was saying. So as I was saying, but overall, don't let people walk over you. Do not do it again.
I also want to say that I know it cannot be easy, especially if you are coming from a foreign country. You are trying to get everyone to like you. You don't want to step on toes. So it's a bit of a tricky dynamic for Black people. Just kind of bringing it back to this person's statement of it being a little bit more difficult for us, because you also want to be careful, especially like office politics. It can get really messy, and I would say use wisdom. As you are,
I have a problem with one statement that you made there, and the statement there is this: you wanting people to like you. I think a better approach though is I don't know that it's helpful to want people to like you. I think it's just your intent should to just be yourself, but be a good person. As long as that's your intent. Whether or not they like you or something like that, like you're a good person. You do your work. You say hi to people. Like, I feel like that should just be the base. Yeah. I think wanting people to like you or create an impression is where you I feel like you won't be as
tricky one.
Yeah, you won't be as comfortable speaking up.
My own perspective is like, outside of doing your work well, I feel like in the workplace, a lot of it has to also do with how impressionable you are.
Sure.
So it's not always about your work. In fact, I feel like, especially in the type of corporate spaces that I've worked in,
it's usually not about the work.
It's 80% about how much your team likes you, how much your boss likes you. And it's not the best. It's not ideal.
I feel like things like that come from, again, I think it's what I call the work etiquette. Like you contribute. Like when they need people to pick something up, it's not like you do it all the time, but at least pick it up once. Don't let it always be somebody else. Show up in different spaces,
Yeah, honestly. And then I'm still for speaking up, but I'm just also trying to, I guess, say that I understand that there's workspaces like this, and it's more difficult to speak up, but still speak up.
Yes,
right. But use wisdom. Still use wisdom. There's some things that you can let go. I was going to say that there's some things that you can honestly let go of. But then some things that you eventually have to, speak up, stand your ground.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a tricky one.
It's a tricky one. It very much is tricky. And to add to it, but sometimes it's not everything that you really go and confront somebody about. Have your work buddies, like somebody who is your work buddy that you vent about the work too, and once you're done venting, okay, it's done. It's a tricky one.
Because
very tricky.
Literally, there's sometimes where you have been pressed, and then you're just, I don't even know, it can be so upsetting and it can be so consuming if you're not careful, and to even voice out. You can just you just be careful not to have your emotions.
I'm just remembering like runnings. No, I'm not necessarily runnings, but just like so much tough conversations that I've had with people in work, where I'm just like,
where you've actually like spoken up.
Yes, because me, I'm just like, if I can't, it feels like I can't breathe, and I have to, like, you need to hear it, because and I'm just like, can I talk to you? And I think another thing, that the way I tend to approach it though, I don't try to make it sound like we're arguing. I try to come from a conversational point of view of
that's important.
What's up, guys? I really hope you're enjoying this episode. If you are, please take a second to click the subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a review and also follow the Young and Abroad podcast page. Thank you.
I'm trying to do my job, and then this thing that you're doing is not allowing me to do it to the best of my ability. So I need you to day your day so that I can do my work, you know. But again, conversational approach as opposed to this is what you did, that's what you did, that's what you did, and we're gonna fight, you know, that type of thing. But yeah.
So yeah, let's move to the next one. So this next person says making new friends as an adult. This is a big one. Determining what you will use and eat. Okay. The whole existential crisis after culture shock.
Yeah, man.
The whole existential crisis after culture shock will shake the core of your value and belief system. Gaining balance and confidence in the new life you are creating. All this plus adulting responsibly. It's a lot.
It's a lot, actually.
It's a whole lot.
It is.
Yeah.
The first sentence, making new friends as an adult.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to just jump back to kind of what we spoke about earlier, like kind of the things we said about easy things, putting yourself in spaces that encourage community. This is if you're not the kind of person who's already extroverted and goes to meet people, like someone that we mentioned, like church, where they're already encouraging you, come and do this one, come and do that one. That might be a little easier for some people who, depending on your workplace, not everybody encourages making friends with your colleagues, but
true.
If you're in a workspace where it's not the most detrimental thing to be friends with your colleagues, that helps as well. Another new thing that I know I've heard people encourage is finding spaces like your hobbies. Do you like, I was going to say the gym, but a lot of people don't like chatting when they're working out. So maybe, I don't know, maybe not so much the gym, but a new thing in this Toronto especially, which I love, is all these running clubs. Like, people who go for runs. I think it's amazing.
So the actual clubs for it.
Yeah, some people like just set up there are actual clubs, and then I think some people just set up their own where it's like, oh, let's go for running. Like, you know, you and your friends, you go.
Are you in any running?
No, I'm not, but I have my own personal issues. My legs heat up. Like, very long name, but it's just something random that happens when my feet or my hands, they just start burning and it hurts. So,
so sorry about that.
Do a lot of running outside. Find community like activities around your hobbies. That way you're not just trying to approach one individual and say, "Oh, how are you?" No.
Yeah. Honestly, I thank you so much for these tips. I feel like it will be very helpful for someone out there, and I can relate to like church and just having community. I know there's also like some groups. There's one I'm on for just like Nigerians in Toronto. Find out about groups like that. Like, I feel like there's groups like that online on social media, on Instagram, on WhatsApp. So there's a lot of those where they organize events, especially now that the weather is like so nice and it's sunny. So there's a lot of events coming up. So you can be on the lookout for them.
And participate. Like, you need to play your part, you know, you need to participate.
And talking about like the culture shock, because this person like went into like quite a bit. So like the person was like, it will basically like shake the core of your belief.
Especially as Nigerians, I'm sorry, this one is very big. In the sense that you're coming from a very disorganized society, to a very like a more organized one where things are not done that way. You know, like you go to the bank. I never really went to the bank as much as like when I was in Nigeria, but I'm just like things. There's just an order to things. You know, like you're driving, you can't just it's just a bit of adjusting, 100%. You know, changing the way you think.
Yeah. Can we just even get into that driving? Because here, first of all, like, you know how in Nigeria, like this, like people are just like blaring their horns.
Yeah, you barely hear it, you know.
Like, you barely hear horns. Like, people do not use their horns.
Yeah.
I feel like max, like that's bad as in bad. They'll flash, like they'll flash their light for you if you do something.
For Nigeria, I realized the horn, like the horn is part of the communication system when you're driving. What's wrong with you? Like, no, seriously.
So we're just leaving there, like the person is not moving, just like pressing it till. Yeah, driving in Nigeria is chaotic. I remember when I went for holiday in December, last December, and I was telling my parents, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna drive. Like they should, get my car ready and everything." And they're like, "Are you sure you want to drive? We can like arrange to be a driver."
Did you drive?
I got there, Ediri, and I was on third mainland with my dad, and I'm seeing downfall drivers reversing on the bridge, on the highway, on the high bridge. And I'm just like, wait, what?
I don't see you for trying though.
I didn't try. So I'm just like, you know what?
This is you just experiencing it.
Exactly. So he was driving. I was in the passenger seat. And I was like, this cannot be real. I think I have just been away from it for too long. So I just so it had gotten like smaller in my mind till I actually went back and experienced it. It's a lot. It's so different. And what else? What else on culture shock? I feel like one thing I would say, I feel like this might apply to maybe like people of the faith, people that are Christians, is there is a tendency to kind of relax if you're not careful, like if you're not mindful of it, because you're in a system where everything works. Figuring out what to eat it might not be a huge prayer point again. You can be working a customer service job and eating good. I mean, living testimony of that.
Hallelujah.
So like the struggles are just not, they're different. So it's not like there's no struggles, but the struggles are just different. I don't know. But what do you think?
I think it's just a reframing. It's a reframing of your relationship with God. In that, I mean, when you're in maybe you're in Nigeria for the most part, oh God, you just not have an accident today. I mean, anybody can have an accident, yes, but you want opportunity for praying. Here you still come, you arrive, you don't have a job yet, and you're trying to navigate this again, racial, whatever it is, society thing that's in society. So you still have things that you want from God.
Panic,
but you're not panicking. And I think the perspective from which you come at your relationship with God is just different. And the way I see it, I think 100%. In many ways it can even be deeper, because now it's not just oh my God, I need money to enter my account today. It's just you have the space, emotional, everything, to just be like, oh my God, I just want to know you. I said, I think it's more a reframing.
Yes.
In that it's not saying you want it to be hot. It still be hot. But you're just not coming from a place of, oh my God, I need money to enter my account, because you're in a society that does not really function. So yes.
So this is kind of where I was going. Because again, another thing is being in this kind of space might, make you start asking more questions about
a lot of questions.
Your faith. And that is a good thing. It's not wrong to, question things and try to seek out answers.
Yeah.
But I would say, like Ediri said, make it a reframing of your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because ideally that is how things should be. And again, this is not to say that, this is everyone's case or scenario. It's just, I guess, a slight observation that I'm putting out there.
Yeah.
And just to close off on this faith aspect, it's just important to reframe our relationship with God and make sure that it is, it's more relational, and just having to adult responsibly. I mean, that has not been easy, but with time,
responsibility,
the bills, once your salary comes, just start arranging it. Which one you pay first? Is it the water? Is it
something? I think I hear a lot of people. It's something it's common. The comparison that we do, where it's just like, oh my God, all we do here is pay bills, pay bills, pay bills. But I feel like if you're in Nigeria, if Nigeria was working the way it was supposed to be working, you'd be paying bills too.
Well, honestly, if I was in Nigeria, I was in my father's house.
I mean, I'm not sure to say you understand they complain about that, but I'm just saying, you're just in a society that works. That's one. Plus two, the way things function is different, culturally, it's different.
Yeah.
In that, like you said, you be in your father's house. There's no push per se, besides us just really wanting our independence to go and get an apartment, do all these many things. So just in regards to this adulting responsibly, I'm just like, it's a good thing.
Honestly, it is because
you get your life together, you learn good habits, you pay your bills on time.
And you grow like you basically grow up quickly and quicker than you typically would have if you were just in your parents' house and didn't have to like think about all these different things because eventually, like Ediri said, you will eventually
have to leave your father's house, at some point.
Yes. So this person says a major struggle settling in for me was finding a place to stay and having to make new friends.
I said more because I've just heard that I guess it's worse now than it used to be.
Especially in the city that we are in, it is so expensive. Like I've considered moving from the place I currently stay, and after a few months, I'm just like, I'm good. I'm gonna be here for the long haul because things are expensive and you don't really get as much space.
It's not even just that. I think part of the struggle, like besides the cost, is that when you're trying to get a place, a lot of landlords are doing background checks. A lot of landlords want references, and you just arrived in the country. You're trying to settle in. How many people are going to give you references?
Some people want your pay stubs as well.
Yeah, actually. I remember when I got my apartment, like my basement apartment, long time ago. I had to give him post-dated checks, and I had to show him some of my pay stubs. And knowing that it's worse now, like how many people just navigating those kind of things? Where again, landlords don't trust that you're going to pay. They don't trust because you're just arriving. So. That struggle is very real.
Like 100%.
And I'm not saying I have any advice at the moment. Again, just finding people like hopefully knowing somebody, if you have work already, you ask questions, you ask your colleague, how can you navigate this? Things like that. But man, it's hard. It is.
100% voicing out to people around you would help out because they might know someone that knows someone that's also looking for a place and looking to share, or maybe sometimes people might have found a place and you're looking for a roommate, so that would even make things easier for you, right? You just basically move in with them.
Something I used to advise, I would give as advice to like maybe new immigrants that I was attending to at the bank is very, very, very important.
What's that?
You have to ask questions. You cannot be scared to ask questions. In fact, like that needs to be your number one skill. Asking questions. Like, is this how whether it's your colleague at work you're asking, whether it's your neighbor, you gotta ask. Is this how it's done? Like, I need to go to the bank, I'm trying to transfer money, I'm trying to So many people get scammed and say, the CRA said that I'm owing them more. And again, you're a new immigrant, so you're scared. Sometimes you lose money. But I'm just like, before you let go of that you had any money, did you ask somebody?
Question.
Like, you just have to. I'm sorry, I'm so big on not asking things. I'm just like, you have to ask.
I know people that have almost been scammed.
I know somebody that has been scammed.
That has been. Oh my god!
Yes, actually 2 people.
And this is one trying to find an apartment.
One trying to find an apartment. The other one, I think, is this CRA scam of a thing. The apartment one was so wild because I'm like, I'm not even sure how else she could have insured. So she was trying to get an apartment, right? She had the person had given her a tour of the place or whatever. And she paid first and last month rent to this guy. Day to move in, this guy was nowhere to be found.
Did she sign an agreement?
I don't remember that she did. She probably found the person on Kijiji or something like that.
The day to move in.
This guy is nowhere to be found. Like,
that is so wicked.
And this is, of course, she has paid thousands of dollars.
And last month,
first and last one.
Literally, this would have probably been like maybe 4K, right?
They're about,
$4,000 gone.
Yeah, I remember that.
I would just sit down on the floor because God, where would we start from? I also feel like you can consider reaching out to your bank and let them know. Especially if you do a bank transfer, don't pay cash.
Don't pay cash. I think that might have also been one of the mistakes she probably made. I think she may have paid cash.
Yeah, they would have probably tried to like make her pay cash.
So
don't pay cash because I know someone that happened to. He got scammed and he was able to call his bank, and the bank was able to reverse
take
the money
back.
Yeah, take the money back. So I think he paid with like his credit card or something. So it was like super easy to get his money back.
Yeah, ask questions, man. Big time. CRA said one thing. I said CRA is never going to contact you that way. Like, log into your CRA account, log into your I can't remember the website for immigration. So IRC. Yeah, log into it. If they want to communicate with you, they would have sent you an email there.
True.
They will not call you and say, "Oh, this is a call from." No.
Oh my god!
Sorry, very
always those scam callers.
Yeah, and you're new in the country, so you'll be scared.
Once you land, so even if you go on holiday and you come back, they are sending scam. It's so bad. Yeah, stay safe out there, guys. Okay, so the next one. This person says, "Luckily for me, I knew people who helped me navigate. The house search, though, was a struggle because as a new immigrant coming from Nigeria, what is his credit score?"
That's part of adjusting to a new country and then them wanting references and all this. Everybody then, thankfully, I got a credit card. I think I got a credit card in uni, so I kind of built up my credit score.
That's really good. Yeah. So on this credit, so I guess for context for people that don't know, when you get a credit card, it basically is a good thing. So in this country, it's a good thing to owe.
Apparently.
Yeah. So basically, but then pay back. So pay back before, your credit is due. So there's a timeline within which you can borrow the money and pay back. But you are encouraged to do it because the more you borrow money, the more your credit score, grows. Yeah. And it is this credit score that you use to do major things like renting an apartment, buying a house. Like it's such a huge thing, a car, so you really need to get your credit up. And I know someone, I have a friend that literally when she moved to Canada for like her first year here, she did not get a credit card. She was like, she's not about to, she's going to use her full money to pay for everything, so until she realized that, you actually need a credit card, you need to build credits, and she was like, if only she knew, so to Ediri's point, ask questions.
Yes, ask questions. Then somebody can educate you on how to pay back your credit card. Some people just think, they're giving me credit card, that means I have money. It's not your money.
It's not your money. Please. You have to pay back and on time because they add interest. So the longer you wait without paying back, the more you owe. And you don't want to.
There can be a learning curve, which is all part of the stress of moving because you're learning so much.
Yeah. Okay, next one. This person says, mine would be the boredom, especially during the winter. Bruh, this one is serious.
Yeah.
Not having family members live close by, and the time difference is crazy. Yeah.
This is the heavy one because man, this is not just about go to church or go outside of community or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Canada is a country where at least 6 months out of the year it's cold.
It's cold.
And the reality is it's not just us, but then us so much because we're coming from a tropical place where it's hot, where people are every Saturday. No, for real. And then you're here and it's cold. Nobody wants to go outside. You want to put on 1 million clothes and jacket. It's just so much more work to socializing.
100%. Like you have to be more intentional to actually go out. And
I'll tell you this, it's not just for people, it's not just immigrants. It's not just people who just came. You probably feel it more because you're like, man, come, I was just under the sun. But even being here for a while, sometimes you still experience it because
like there's even a term for it, winter blues.
Yeah, it's not easy at all.
It's not. Everyone is
we're all trying to deal.
From like 3 p.m. right? Everywhere is already like grey
and then 4 p.m. blackout. So everybody's trying. I'll tell you that much. It's not easy. Somehow over time you get used to the fact that this is gonna happen, but the experience is still not easy. I'll tell you that much.
And also like not having family members close by and the time difference. I 100% agree, especially if like you're working, you're in school. So by the time you are, finally settled in at home and, trying to call it, everyone's asleep at home, like back home. It's kind of like a rite of passage. This struggles, you have to overcome them.
You know, in this kind of times, my 2 cents would just be like, if you have friends already, then you gotta lean on your friends. Like, you just have to.
100%. Honestly, there's definitely friends that have become like family here over time. Yeah, it's not easy when you can, if possible, work, get your money up, go back home, say hi to your family. I mean, for the first time since I moved, for many different reasons, I went back home last year. Like that was my first time back home. Although my folks come over, so I've been seeing them during my time here, but it was so nice. Like actually seeing like extended family, I like the joy. It is unmatched, and just being away from your loved ones for so long, it can be so hard. It can really take a toll on one. But yeah, lean on your friends, like Ediri said.
Yeah,
she's dropping gems back to back.
That's what we have, right? Like, hopefully you have good friends too who don't feel burdened by the fact that you need the extra company. Because I'm calling me too much, please. So I hope that
I pray
you have
friends.
good friends who understand and are willing to be there for you.
Yeah,
major key man.
That would be so wrong.
Yeah, no.
So this next person, we're on the last one.
Yay.
Person says, how did you overcome the struggles and trying to belong in overseas?
This one's it was a journey. It took a minute.
Yeah,
for sure. Just trying to find, like,
there's a lot of, I feel like it's finding yourself.
Yes, I was gonna say it's a huge journey.
Finding your space, like spaces that are comfortable.
Do you know what I'm just thinking about? I'll let you finish and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking about.
Okay, I think I'm done actually.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like just fashion by itself. Yeah, I remember being like in uni, me just trying to figure out how I wanted to dress in a cold place. Like I found myself for a while. I found myself dressing like everybody around me. Like where you see everybody's wearing Uggs, so you buy Uggs. Everybody, like the girls that in your eyes are cute, are wearing like high knee, like rain boots. Even though I don't really wear rain boots like that.
Canadian thing is like those plaid.
Yeah, I don't really wear rain boots like that. I always can buy rain boots. I didn't wear it much. Maybe one. I think it was maybe I was at this store. Oh, what was a popular store like this? It was Aricia. Yes. I remember getting that one bag like this. I did not used to use it much, but I bought it. And after a while, I just felt like I don't like how these people are dressing. I don't like how I'm dressing. It's getting boring. And I was just like, okay, it's time to start wearing what I want to wear. And just finding my own identity, my own self. So it takes a bit of self-awareness as well. Also, like realizing, 100%. Okay, maybe I'm overcopying, or just being aware. Basically, I would say this: you don't have to overly belong. I'll tell you that much. Like
100%.
You really don't have to overly belong. I think you just being you in many ways is how you fit in, because people would enjoy like the difference that you bring.
100%. And I feel like, God, also you being you would also now allow for people that are like-minded, people that actually will connect to actually find you.
Yeah, very much so.
So 100%, like
the journey. So
yes,
it's a journey that requires a lot of self-awareness.
And give yourself grace, give yourself time. Like you will not figure it out. I feel like even on style and fashion, I feel like mine is still very much evolving. And I feel like that's even just us as human beings. Like we are ever evolving, ever changing.
Yes, we are.
So give yourself that room. Don't just like put yourself in a box or feel like you have to be a certain way all your life. Right? No.
I remember like different changes I experienced just from moving from Ottawa to Toronto. I just what do I like to do? You know, like what's different? Because sometimes like being in a space can make you're affected by the environment that you're in. I'll tell you that much.
100%,
So
yes, I agree.
leaving Ottawa and coming here, I'm just like, okay, where do I like to go? What do I like to do? You have to overly belong. Like no,
Yeah.
not at all.
100%. That brings us to the end of this segment. We have one more. We have one more before we go. So we're just going to do a little icebreaker. And, I guess it's an opportunity to get to know you a bit more, So I'm going to read you questions.
Okay.
No, actually, scratch that. I'm going to ask you to pick a number from 1 to 10.
Okay.
I have 10 questions here.
I'm very scared.
So, okay, so pick a number from 1 to 10. 2. 2. Is that your final answer?
Oh God. Yeah, let's go 2.
Okay, so 2 is, when are you happiest?
Oh, when am I happiest? I think a couple different moments, I would say. When I've done something, like when I do something that I set out to do or that I said I was going to do, just keeping my word to myself. Like I'm just like, yeah, I feel proud of myself, and that makes me happy seeing myself show up
and achieve something.
Yeah. You may not have achieved anything big, but I showed up today. Like I wanted to clean my room, I wanted to do my laundry, and I did it. That makes me happy.
Okay, that's actually everything. Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for coming on, Ediri. I absolutely love this conversation.
I had a great time.
Where can my people find you?
Okay, I'll tell you this much. Don't worry about Twitter. Okay, all I do is retweet basketball things. But on Instagram, I am at Ediris_corner. So EDIRIS_corner. Same thing for TikTok and YouTube as well.
Love it.
It is one everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that the links to her pages will be in the description for YouTube, and also the podcast platforms. We would also add links there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
Give the video a thumbs up and drop a comment. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.